In a small, secluded village nestled deep within a forest, there stood an abandoned mansion known as Kashmora House. For decades, the villagers whispered tales of strange occurrences and eerie voices emanating from the decaying walls of the old estate. No one dared to enter, for it was believed that the house was cursed and home to restless spirits. One rainy night, a young journalist named Ravi, known for his fearless investigative stories, arrived in the village. Intrigued by the legends surrounding Kashmora House, he decided to spend the night there to uncover the truth. Armed with his camera and recording equipment, Ravi was determined to capture evidence of the supernatural. As he stepped into the mansion, the air grew cold, and an unsettling silence enveloped the room. The floorboards creaked under his feet as he ventured deeper into the dark corridors. The mansion's interior was a decaying ruin, with cobwebs hanging from the ceiling and dust covering every surface. Ravi set up his camera in the main hall, where it was rumored that the most paranormal activity occurred. He began speaking into his recorder, documenting his surroundings and the eerie atmosphere. Hours passed, and the only sound was the occasional drip of water from the leaking roof. Just as Ravi began to think the legends were mere superstitions, he heard a faint whisper. It was a voice, soft and unintelligible, but unmistakably there. He froze, straining to hear more. The whispering grew louder, echoing through the empty hall. Ravi felt a chill run down his spine as the voice seemed to call his name. Heart pounding, Ravi followed the sound to an old, crumbling staircase leading to the basement. As he descended, the whispering intensified, now accompanied by the sound of faint, ghostly footsteps. The basement was pitch dark, the only light coming from his flashlight in the corner of the room. Ravi spotted an old wooden chest covered in dust. The whispers seemed to emanate from within it. Trembling, he approached the chest and slowly opened it. Inside, he found a collection of old photographs and a diary. The photographs showed a family, seemingly happy, but the last few images depicted a tragic turn. A fire consuming the mansion, the family trapped inside. Ravi opened the diary and began to read. It belonged to the mother of the family, Lakshmi, who wrote about a terrible curse placed upon their home. According to the diary, the family had unknowingly angered a malevolent spirit by disturbing a sacred artifact buried in the forest. The spirit, seeking revenge, cursed the family, causing the fire that claimed their lives. Bound to the mansion, the spirit trapped their souls within the walls, unable to find peace. As Ravi continued reading, the whispers became cries of agony and despair. The temperature dropped, and the room filled with a heavy, oppressive presence. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and went out, plunging Ravi into darkness. He heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching, faster and faster. In a panic, Ravi fumbled for his camera, the only light source left. As he switched it on, he caught a glimpse of shadowy figures surrounding it. The air was thick with an overwhelming sense of sorrow and anger. The figures drew closer, their faces twisted in pain and rage. Desperate, Ravi shouted that he meant no harm and only wanted to uncover the truth. The whispering voices paused, and for a brief moment, there was silence. Then, a soft, sorrowful voice spoke clearly, "Release us." Ravi realized what he had to do. He hurriedly gathered the diary and the photographs and made his way back upstairs. The shadowy figures followed, but their presence felt less menacing. He found a spot in the garden, where the sacred artifact was buried according to the diary, and placed the items on the ground with a final prayer for the souls trapped within the mansion. Ravi lit a match and set the photographs and diary ablaze. As the flames consumed the paper, a gust of wind swept through the garden, and a faint, ethereal glow surrounded the house. The cries of anguish faded, replaced by a peaceful silence. The next morning, the villagers found Ravi asleep in the garden, the mansion behind him silent and still. When he awoke, he shared his experience, showing the villagers the footage he captured. The shadows and whispers were gone, and the mansion, once a place of terror, was now at peace. Ravi's story became a sensation, drawing attention from across the country. Kashmora House was no longer a place of fear, but a reminder of the tragic tale of a family and the power of redemption. The villagers, once afraid, now remembered the mansion with reverence and respect. And as for Ravi, he continued his journey, documenting the supernatural and the unexplained, always remembering the night he freed the whispering shadows of Kashmora House.